Hello pen pals and pseudo fans. And welcome to all of my latest subscribers. Thanks so much for joining.
Yes. It is blue skies and hail at the same time. Ladies and gentlemen, it's what we call Midwest weather.
This pseudo story journaling entry is going to be the same as the others, in that it's going to be completely different from the others. For starters, this video doesn't require you to watch it. Feel free to listen to it while performing some other passive activity. If you are choosing to watch, you're being treated to the pile of video footage and photos I've been taking to better hone my novice camera skills and potentially use for some artwork. Though fret not, should that not sound enticing enough, you'll also be rewarded with pseudo story details in text and some other extras on screen. Another notable way this journaling video is different from the others is that I didn't.
My spring breakdown and summer vacating. Take 3. And action.
I'm still not sure how to go about this. I made some audio recordings that ramble in circles and contain more silence than words. Other recordings I uploaded had some poignant stuff to say, but they were somehow corrupted, or something, and erased from my video editing program, and now are non-existent, as I had also since deleted them from my phone. And much of the journaling that I previously put into an AI voice script was still harboring a lot of anger and resentment, and I've decided it is no longer suitable to tell this story.
And what story are you trying to tell us, Pseudo?
Yeah, sorry, I'll get on with it. Well, this is a tale about an empath and a narcissist. A tale that, as I recently learned, is quite a common one when it comes to close relationships. The long and the short of it is that I was stuck in a toxic romantic relationship with a narcissist for the past 14 years. Of course, I didn't know he was a narcissist when I met him. I mean, shit, had you asked me even a mere 7 months ago what makes a narcissist, I would have spat out some naive, undereducated answer that closer paralleled the story of Narcissus, and someone being incredibly vain and full of themselves. And, given what I've learned in the last 6 months, I suppose that could be seen as an appropriate brushstroke to paint despite it being rather broad.
How about them transparent dangling carrots?
For the purposes of this tale, we'll go back to the beginning of the 2024 calendar year, when I found myself in a dark, sad, yet familiar state of mind. In fact, it was very similar to the mental state I was in circa age 26, when I had what John Mayer had coined as a quarter-life crisis, a stirring of my soul. Enter my spring breakdown. Come springtime this year, I went through an intense experience which resembled that previous time in my life. Only this time around, it hit exponentially harder. What before was merely a tower crumbling down, this time around was a crumbled tower due to an apocalyptic tidal wave, followed by some other horrific thing I can't even conjure up for this metaphor at the moment. Some call it a midlife crisis, some recognize it as a spiritual awakening, others call it a dark night of the soul. In any case, I'm still reeling a bit. It all came to a head with a significant occurrence in late March that then served as the catalyst for ending my long-term romantic relationship. Notably, love had been absent from it for years, and this decision was long overdue anyway, but my failure to execute this in the past led to a divine intervention, as it were. Unfortunately, I was financially stuck, and for months, I was locked in the lion's den, facing my final trials and tribulations of this tragic karmic cycle. I had finally gone through every last option I had in attempting to take on the responsibility for our relationship's failure, and finally determined that it wasn't my fault, as I found the right resources I needed to confirm the fact that I was, indeed, dealing with someone who had narcissistic personality disorder. By the by, if you determine that someone in your life is a narcissist, I recommend you follow the advice of the professionals and not try to explain to them that they are a narcissist, or try to get them the help they need, as calling them out will only make things exponentially worse for you. I can attest to this, as I did attempt to shed some light and offer assistance, and it backfired with great force. I genuinely met the devil face to face on several occasions during the past few months. He got a therapist, family and friends, and even eventually law enforcement involved. Yeah, that's right. The bastard tried to hit me with domestic violence charges because I dared to raise my voice at him and defend myself against his nonsense one night. Some messed up shit that I'm sure will make an appearance in a pseudo story at some point. Frankly, the entire ordeal has put me through hell and back again, and I'm not sure the best way to go about bringing it up for collective discussion and healing quite yet beyond this rambling journaling.
I don't want anyone, know me or not. See me at my lowest, you don't have to drop. Don't have to drop by, nothing you can do this time.
Anyway, long story short, I see it now, in hindsight, for the healing journey that it was for me and my life. And while I don't wish to air out all my family's dirty laundry at this time, I will say that I've learned a hell of a lot about myself, the complexes I slowly developed, and all the blocks I had created within myself through my efforts in being a people pleaser and problem solver, as it were. And that brings us to my summer vacating. Making the decision to leave him wasn't too difficult. Hell, I had technically made the decision at least thrice over the course of our relationship, the first time being over a decade ago. However, it was the execution of physically separating and leaving him that posed some problems this time around. Mainly because I had allowed myself to become so crippled by disrespecting myself and my wants and needs. I had been so utterly dependent on him to provide me happiness that I completely let myself fall to pieces. What had me stuck for a while was how he wouldn't accept any wrongdoing in the entire 14-year span of our relationship. Everything that required blame and could be blamed on me was my fault. Anything that he wanted and didn't have was because of me. Everything he didn't want and had to put up with was because of me. Everything he did for me is out of the kindness of his heart because he loves me unconditionally, despite me being a stupid slut with a fucked up family history who only mooches off him like a teenager. Thank God he found me when he did, because I would have been found dead in a gutter years ago without him here to protect me from myself. Except, no. It's only my fault for putting up with such nonsense for as long as I did. It's my fault for trying to fix a broken piece of shit that couldn't and wouldn't accept he was broken. It's my fault for ignoring all the red flags in an attempt to prove to him that I was loyal, loving, committed.
These foolish games are tearing me apart, and your thoughtless words don't break my heart.
All the while, he was still spending money on himself, whining about how he wants a house and kids, but never making any sacrifices to work toward achieving those goals, never taking the time to talk with me like an adult about adulting. It was only ever my fault that we weren't property owners because I didn't make enough money. Never mind the fact that I made it clear to him when we first started dating that I had been financially struggling my whole life, that I hadn't mastered being able to afford living on my own, at least not yet, not in Illinois, certainly not in the northwest suburbs. That was part of the reason I was living in Iowa with my aunt at the time. He won't accept my suggestions for cheaper apartments because he wants to be close to his job, so we pay the same as a mortgage for an overpriced, luxury in name only, 1-bed 1-bath apartment. He ignores the fact that he took all the printed money the government gave me during the 2020 furlough, claiming he was running out of money, only to yell at me about finances a couple years later, flaunting his saving skills and the half a year's salary he has tucked away while he watches me go broke and start to financially drown. Today, he makes more than we ever have combined, and somehow, it's still my fault that we aren't where he wants to be.
How about me not blaming you for everything?
Well, fuck that. I can take responsibility for my mistakes and myself not being where I want to be. But I won't take responsibility for his life being off the desired track. Nor will I help him to reach his dream life anymore. Lord knows his fantasy isn't mine anyway. I've battled my own demons, and I cannot, nor will I, fight his demons. I've cleaned myself up, got back in touch with who I am, I've finally learned to love myself, to trust in myself, and I learned that I need to leave. He's only learned to yell then run away. A new tactic in manipulation. Now that I'm aware of the games, I've learned how I could manipulate him, yet I have no desire for that black magic, to force change or to treat him like a dog. He only knows how to manipulate me and others, yet he has no desire to change himself. He lives inside his protective bubble, and there's no getting him out. He's content in there. Well, there he can stay. But he can stay there without me. I'm not misery's company anymore. I can't help but wonder how long after I'm gone that he'll continue to blame me as the reason his life is so shitty. I suspect he'll have to go back to complaining about his job sooner or later. Whatever, I can't worry about him anymore.
Thank you, disillusionment. Thank you, frailty. Thank you, consequence. Thank you, silence.
A silver lining in this is that I'm not in a homeless shelter, as I thought might be the option I had to take for a while. I'm currently living at home with my parents. Again. Not an ideal solution, as the dynamics and general situation here aren't great, but I'm grateful to have a roof, a bed, food and water, and family members who love me the best they can. Throughout it all, I've been doing everything in my power to worry about me. And I'm doing pretty darn good if I do say so myself. I've managed to get some healthy self-care daily practices in place. I've been taking regular walks in nature, I've been doing yoga, and I even found some meditation styles that work for me. I've also been getting reacquainted with some former pastimes and hobbies, including playing my flute and crocheting. I even tried my hand at making recycled paper. I've rekindled my joy for the culinary arts, too. I've also been studying a lot, looking into all sorts of esoteric literature and reading up on topics that fascinated me as a kid but, for some reason or another, were dismissed from my perspective. Notably, I've been diving deeper into understanding myself, starting with delving into my birth chart and learning all the astrological meaning behind it. Naturally, that brought the fascinating world of tarot reading back into my world, which has admittedly become a bit of a guilty pleasure obsession for me, especially after I finally watched the latest Matrix film and I was hit with a flood of visions and epiphanies about choice, free will, and destiny. And if I was in a better place, I would have tried to produce that manifested musing video already, but alas. Notwithstanding, the narratives provided through tarot have also served as a powerful motivator and effective therapy for me in some instances. Additionally, I started reading up on the 7 Hermetic principles and diving into literature about spiritual energies and psychic intuition and whatnot. Furthermore, I stumbled upon A Course in Miracles, which I have been slowly reading and going through its workbook. Not to mention all the work I've been doing to learn more about content creation, photography and photo editing, plus technology and business in general, and getting serious about fully launching the PenName brand. Because it's clear that I'm not going back to the old normal. The world called me non-essential back in 2020 and it's been consistently delivering that message every time I try to reinsert myself back into the matrix. So, I finally took the hint that God has been so persistently trying to prove to me for 4 years, and I started focusing entirely on the challenges of starting an actual business that I had been trying to skirt around for the last decade, and instead start to conquer them and jumpstart my future.
I don't mind if it's lonely. I don't mind if it's fair.
And while I've gotten over the hurt and anger about the grand majority of the education I've received in life is completely useless for living a successful or meaningful life, I'm still getting over the belief systems to which such ideas are attached that's making it difficult to make decisions that appear to propel me forward.
I don't wanna backslide to where I've started from. There's no chance I will shake this again.
In other news, 21 Pilots dropped a new album. And yes, it's amazing. I've listened to the entire thing twice through, and I've given the single version and Jenna's version of The Craving a combined half-dozen plays, and I've cried every time. Backslide hit me rather personally too. Notably, there are no fewer than 15 lines of lyric throughout the album that I not only deeply related to but was also a tad envious that I hadn't come up with such an incredible expression of such. Of course, my ego had a chance to come out during my emo mood and attempt to take away my joy, trying to theorize that 21 Pilots are only famous so they can misdirect a large portion of those attempting to walk a more spiritual path. But I quickly dismissed that because, well, my thoughts mean nothing, and I was able to get on with enjoying myself and dancing like nobody was watching because nobody was. To which I'll say that's too bad for y'all, because I was watching myself in the mirror, and I think I still got some moves. So. Speaking of viewing habits, the time I spend staring at screens also looks different these days. Beyond being significantly reduced in length, I've officially graduated from watching every last quote-unquote truther channel I still have in my subscription lineup, save 2.5 of them. I'm finding myself wholly uninterested in any of it right now. If you're not making authentic art or talking about spiritual concepts and healing and ascending, if you're still only harping on world government and conspiracies, or trying to dig up lost cities, or worried about the shape of this realm, then I've mostly tuned out. Many channels I even full out unsubscribed from, and many of my subscriptions are to my fellow pen pals and other smaller channels at the moment.
And I am fascinated by the spiritual man. I'm humbled by his humble nature. Yeah. And what I wouldn't give to find a soulmate, someone else to catch this drift. And what I wouldn't give to meet a kindred. Oh, 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 oh.
Hello, good fish. Please have a seat. I'm Oracle John Willis, president of WIC, Wise Institute Council. We're set up all around the world, seeking quality candidates like you to do very important work. Based on your resume, we feel you'll make a great fit. Your assignment, if you choose to accept it, is to go out in the world and help in the process of uplifting humanity. Everything you need to know is in this envelope, and we pay for all your expenses. You pay nothing. Do you accept this assignment?
Yes, I do, and I thank you for considering me and helping in this great work. I won't let you down.
Thank you, good fish. You can go have a seat out in our waiting room while I interview Badfish. Hello, Badfish. Please, have a seat. I'm Oracle John Willis, president of WIC, Wise Institute Council. We're set up all around the world, seeking quality candidates like you to do very important work, and based on your resume, we feel you'll make a great fit. Your assignment, if you choose to accept, is to go out into the world and help in the process of uplifting humanity. Everything you need to know is in this envelope, and we pay for all your expenses. You pay nothing. Do you accept this assignment? No disrespect, but are you crazy? Excuse me, come again? I said, are you crazy? You expect me to use what little sanity I have left and go out into a dysfunctional, bipolar, mental disorder, money-grubbing world and help in the process of uplifting humanity after what I've been through? You can't be serious. It took me over 50 years to figure out how all these 12 sides conscious energy in me flow smoothly and shit. And stuff be popping off in my life, I didn't know what the hell I was feeling like. At one moment, I'm feeling like a Gemini, then it switches up to a Capricorn and slide into an Aries and then slip into a Scorpio. I couldn't make basic decisions without getting stuck in some deep quicksand-type emotions. Why do you think I created my own la-la land? I needed a plan to escape. Many times I was thinking, damn, I'm crazy as cat shit. Now I'm finally got a handle on things. I'm living my best stress-free life. I'm making moves even my haters admire. I can now make decisions without worrying about what a motherfucker thinks. My third eye is beaming, and here you come up with some godlike work shit? I just come here for a normal job, and uplifting humanity ain't it. You crazy as hell you think I'm accepting this assignment. Keep your money. Bye. Goodfish, you can come in now. I know you overheard that exchange between me and Badfish, and I truly apologize for that.
It's okay, but Badfish does have a point. While y'all was talking, I was looking over the rules, and I have some real concerns about them. I would love for you to consider these changes I made because, like Badfish said, we're not God. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we do your shit. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we do our shit. Sunday, nobody do shit. See how equally balanced that is? And it has that one day off godlike ring to it? We need some balance and boundaries off up in this motherfucker.
Available at BewareRecords.com.
Is always never enough.
And I suppose that serves as a good transition for me to say that I've been making some great strides toward finding my purpose in this life. I've settled into the number 6 life path arena, playing as an empathetic nurturer and healer, a teacher of love. It's the details I haven't worked out yet. How I'm going to successfully go about this is still the question. And while I'm feeling stuck at that point, I'm also coming to terms with the fact that my feeling stuck is part of my test. A test of my faith to step out into the void, into the unknown, and hold my faith that I'm not walking off the edge of a cliff, or if I am, the faith that God won't let me fall. It's all but a dream, after all. But I'm getting there. Slowly, sometimes only one toenail clipping at a time, but surely, I'm getting there. And, so, I guess this is as good a place as any to end. But before I go, I want to give a special shout out to my first, and currently only, Patreon supporter and ebook purchaser, DW, and by extension, his super wife. I can't say that I expected to get any attention given to my Patreon page or website at this point, as I only pushed out what I did to keep myself motivated by accomplishing some personal goals with self-imposed deadlines. Your support is so meaningful that I can't even find the words. But, then again, whenever you got little old PenName speechless, that's truly saying something. And hey, Pseudo says, thanks for being you.
How about that ever-elusive kudo?
Alright, I guess it's time to sign off. This phoenix will be rising very soon, I assure you of that, so stay tuned pen pals and Pseudo fans. Love and blessings to you all.
And all I need now is intellectual intercourse, a soul that they could hold much deeper. And I have no concept of time other than it displaying. If only I could kill the killer. And all I really want is some peace, man. A place to find a common ground. And all I really want is a wavelength And all I really want is some comfort, a way to get my hands untied. And all I really want is some justice.